Hey guys, what's up? It's ItsAnnaLouise, and it feels so amazing to be sitting here and filming again. So much that I could honestly cry. It's been a while since I've actually sit down and filmed. All that has been up has been like Vlogmas and then like the BETTA breeding diaries, but this is going to be a sit down video of course today, and I'm so happy to be back. I have been in a really rough place, but today I spontaneously got 4 inches cut off my hair. I went and got some crystals, spent some time with my mom, and now I'm sitting down and getting to film and do what I love. So yeah, little rant, but let me tell you about today's video. So today's video is going to be one that is going to be very important, I believe, to a lot of people. Probably about my biggest question that I always get from people is, how do you breed betta fish? Can you help me know how to breed? What am I doing wrong while I try to breed? Any tips for knowing how to breed? Like, whatever, like any question that you can pretty much think that has to do with knowing how to breed betta fish, I get. So actually 2 years ago, I actually sat down and I filmed a video on how to breed betta fish. I literally went step by step through literally everything that you need in all of the steps. And since I did film it 2 years ago, I really wanted to redo this because a lot of people don't know that that video is out there. And so I just thought I need to do an updated one. You know what I mean? It's gonna be in my best interest to do a new one for you guys, an updated one. So if you haven't went and saw my video from 2 years ago on how to breed betta fish, I'll link it up here in the iCards above. But along with that one and this series that I'm going to make right now, I think you guys should get a lot of knowledge on how to breed bettas. But I will say, do not just stick to my video only, still do more research because this is a big deal. This is something I'm obviously very passionate about, and you know, this is a lot of fish's life at stake, so I believe that, you know, you really got to do your research, and yeah, but I will try my best to the best of my ability to let you guys know literally everything that you'll need to know. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into part 1 of how to breed betta fish. Okay guys, so obviously I said this is a part 1 video. I'm gonna break this video down into 3 parts because I feel as if there is so much information that it's going to be information overload in one video, so I'm going to make this into a short series of 3 episodes. This episode is going to list basically all the supplies that you're going to need at first. So this is going to be a supply video. The next video is going to be like what to look for in a breeding pair and like the steps you're going to need to take to breed them, and then like the next one will be like care afterwards, stuff like that. And we'll obviously get into more of that later, but now let's go over a lot of the supplies. Also, by doing this in 3 parts, if I accidentally forget something in this video, because there is so much information, I'm bound to forget something. So in the other videos, if I forget something, I can like put them in there. But anyway, so let's talk supplies. So the first thing that you're gonna need are betta fish. You're gonna need betta fish to breed betta fish. And it's really important that you're not just breeding any type of betta fish. There are so many good rules for breeding bettas that you need in just picking out the pair. You're not going to want to just go to the pet store and grab up some fish and breed them. That is not right. It is not good. You're going to want to go to a breeder to get fish to breed. There are very rare cases where you can actually get a good fish at the pet store to breed, but even then it is quite risky because you don't know where those bettas have came from. And the bettas that get sent to pet stores are very poorly bred and kept in their first few months of life, so it just makes everything so much more difficult because you don't know their background. So you're gonna want to stick with a breeder. So once you have picked a breeder to actually get your fish to breed from, then what you're going to want to do then is pick out a tail type. One thing that you do not want to do is mix tail types. Now let me break that down a little bit too, I guess is the way to put it. So as we know, there are different tail types such as half moon, crown tail, Dumbo, fin, stuff like that, right? Well, those are the types of tails you don't want to mix. The only exception that I personally think would be okay to mix is placotte half moons with like regular half moons. I have personally done this. Actually, my Dumbos are a mix of placotte / regular. The male is placotte, the female is regular half moon. And with that, all you're doing is getting a variety of a little bit longer tails. Some will have a little bit short, and I kind of think that's really cool, and it doesn't mess up anything like with their appearance, like, if that makes sense. Let me kind of explain what I mean. So Placate is just like how short the fin is. Obviously Placates have shorter fins. I will insert a picture. And then regular half moons obviously have longer fins, but they're still half moon. You get it? So therefore I feel like that is definitely fine. But one thing you don't want to go and do is mix, say, a crown tail with a half moon, or a crown tail, like a crown tail with a veil tail, or a veil tail with a half moon. That's where it gets tricky, and you can get bad genetics and stuff like that. So that's one thing that you actually do not want to do. So say you found your breeder, and then you went to your breeder, you picked out your fish, they have the same tail type, then you're good. So you buy the male and the female. So where do they gotta go? They gotta go in a breeding tank. But first, what I personally do, and I mean there's like a little bit of variation that can come with this, you are going to want to put the male in the actual breeding tank. I start off by putting him in there, and I put the female in either a jar / little tub, whatever is small and accessible, in order to like condition them. So I'll normally put the female in what I put the babies in, like the jars when I grow out the babies. So say that I've got my fish sent to me now. I'm gonna go ahead and put the male like right off the bat into the breeding tank, which I say 10 gallons is the perfect size. I would not go below 10 gallons at all, but 10 gallons is a great size. So I would go with that 10 gallons and just say I put my female in the jar. So what you're gonna wanna do is obviously condition them, but I'm gonna get all into that later. This is basically, like I said, the supply portion. So you're gonna need that breeding tank, and you're gonna need jars, which for the babies too, but just because we're at the mama step, you're gonna need jars, aka for the mom. So those are two things you're gonna need. Another thing you're gonna need is really, really good food. You're not gonna wanna feed fish that you want to breed like pellets and stuff. That's not good. Now you can feed them like a good quality pellet, such as bug bites. Let me show you. Like these. But even this I don't recommend. The very like best thing that you can feed for them to like get them conditioned is frozen bloodworms. So definitely go for that first, and if that does not work and they for some reason are picky, which I have only met one fish that doesn't want bloodworms, then go for something like bug bites that has a really good ingredient list. So you're going to need really good food, the fish, the breeding tank, and the jars. Now for the breeding tank, you're going to need a heater. This is very important. This is one very important step into keeping the babies alive, is the temperature. Like more than ever with the babies, is very important to set my temperature to 84 degrees. So with the heater, you're gonna want to get one where you can actually adjust the temperature. Don't just go get one that is like all willy-nilly, whatever the temperature, like whatever it wants to be kind of situation. You're gonna want to get a thermometer where you can adjust the temperature. But let me tell you, you're not gonna need one thermometer, you're gonna need two, because eventually you're gonna need it to have in the tub to actually heat up the jars once you draw the babies. But anyway, I'm still gonna go in order, but you will need a heater for that. Another thing that is really good to have to put in the breeding tank and in the jars too when you have the babies is aquarium salt. I'm a stickler for aquarium salt, obviously 100%. I think it's really good. Aquarium salt in the breeding tanks can also really help keep down like diseases and funguses like that the fish can get. So that is like a really good preventative. Like literally aquarium salt is the best. So definitely want to get that. Of course, another thing you're gonna need is a net. Obviously, but if you have BETTA fish, then you probably already have a net, but that is something that you're gonna need. Another thing that is really good to have is Indian almond leaves. So the Indian almond leaves I use to put down for the male to like want to go over and build a bubble nest, but it's also good just for the overall health of the tank, and it is also good for the babies. So if you have them, like that is definitely the best option. If you don't have them, even though I recommend getting them, a piece of like styrofoam that you just like let float in the tank will also entice the male to come up to it, but still get more into that later. But that is some other things that you'll need. And other than that, next, basically, one mega important thing, one of the most important things of all that you're gonna need is brine shrimp hatcheries. So this is going to be for feeding the baby. Of course, I'll get more into this part later, but you're going to have to feed the babies at first for the first little while living food because it's their natural instinct to hunt. If you do not, then they're not going to eat and they're not going to survive. So you're going to need a brine shrimp hatchery. You can either make this yourself or you can buy one. I actually literally have both. So you're going to need that. You're also going to need brine shrimp eggs. You're going to need aquarium salt, baking soda, and good distilled water. So those are things that you're going to need for the food portion for the babies. And of course, later on, the babies can switch over to non-living foods. So anything like frozen bloodworms, little bug bites, they like tubifix worms. You're going to need a big variety of food. You can also add live plants to the tank. Like I have a marimo moss ball. Those are also really good. This also provides infusoria, which is a type of little organism that floats in the tank, and they can actually eat on that in the first few days before their mouth gets big enough to actually eat the brine shrimp. So definitely put in some live plants. That will also really be beneficial. Another step, as you guys know, I love rapashi gel food. You're going to need that. That is a good first food to like transition them off of, so you're going to want to get that as well for the food portion. Also some things for enrichment to get their mental like state going and to help them like learn and kind of stuff like that. So you're going to need that. And then let's say it's time to actually jar the babies. You're going to need tons of jars. That's where the babies have to go once they start getting aggressive and they start to grow. That is a very important part. I use mason jars. That is the most easiest and best efficient way to do so. And so you're going to need a bunch of mason jars. Then you're going to have to heat those jars. So you're going to need a tub. So you're going to have a tub to sit the mason jars in. And that's where that extra heater is going to come into place. So you're going to need that as well. You're also going to need a siphon to help clean the tank. A turkey baster also comes in handy to get the poop out like more, you know, precisely, because you can't put a siphon in the jars, but you can in the tank. So those two forms for cleaning. You're gonna need a bucket to put your dirty water in. So that is a very big thing. And then when it gets time for the babies to grow up and you have all the different variety of foods, you have the heater, all the stuff that you need for them to grow in the little jars, and all the cleaning supplies, etc. You're gonna have to have boxes to ship them out in. You're gonna have all the supplies for that. You're gonna need boxes. You're gonna need stuff to insulate the box with, depending on the temperature. You're gonna need heat packs. There's a lot of stuff you need, a lot of packing materials. So you're gonna have to keep that in mind as well. Of course, you have the stuff to breed the fish, but then you're gonna have to also have the stuff to send the fish out. So like I said, a box, insulation stuff such as styrofoam or like tinfoil-ish material. You're gonna need newspapers or just stuff to pack with the fish in. You're also gonna need to have fish bags. So like you get at the pet store, you're gonna need that with rubber bands to close them off on. There are so many little nitpicky items that so many people don't think of, but this is all stuff that you really need and are essentials, and like you literally cannot do this without this stuff. So I really recommend writing down everything I said because it is very important. So basically right now that's all I can think of supply wise. And so that's why there's so much information. That's why I'm making things into parts. But this is part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to rewatch this video, write everything down, and then the part 2 will be coming out sometime soon. But other than that, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and found it beneficial. I want to take time to thank my patrons real fast: Dylan, Courtney, Jeremy, Maddie, Davis, Mercy, Casey, Janae, Dusty, Jesse. Thank you guys so much for being patrons. If you want to be a patron, you can join. The link will be in the description box down below. And other than that, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, which you can do by hitting my face right up there. And you can watch another one of my videos by clicking right over there. And it would mean the world to me, you guys, if you would do so. Like literally so much, you guys. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great day or night or whenever you may be watching this. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!